Welcome, sports fans, to the Red Zone. The Cardinals finish up the regular season with another convincing win, beating Elmhurst 49-24. But for the first time in 5 years, North Central will not be going to the playoffs. Joining me always is the coach of the Cardinals, John Thorne. Coach, another nice win over your friend Tim Lester. But, for these seniors not going to the playoffs, it's got to be a little tough.
The last 2 years in a row, we've had these phenomenal teams, and all of a sudden we get to the very end of the season. Of course, this year, it started at the very beginning of the season, we had some injuries to our most important players. So it's a little bittersweet, a little sad, but it was wonderful to finish a season with a victory and a championship and not a loss like we have in the playoff time. So we're going to really miss these seniors. Oh, man, have they been great.
Coach, I believe you said over 40 years as a head coach, be it at high school or on the college level. Has this been one of the most trying years for you just because of all the injuries you've had to deal with?
It's the most trying year out of all 40-some years that I've been coaching. And there were just all kinds of situations that just kept cropping up. Most of them had to do with injuries to the players, but some of our coaches were sick, some of our family members were sick, and it was just a very, very tough challenge against adversity, week after week. But you know what? That makes you a lot stronger, and our kids just, I can't say enough about how happy I am of the way our kids responded to everything.
Yeah, they definitely responded this year in a positive way. It's a lot to build on going into next season. It should be fun to watch. Let's start off with the Elmhurst game. In the very first series for North Central College, the seniors, they got going. Aaron Fanthorpe hit Hank Johnson on a 20-yard pass. In the very next play, Butch Rosberg, 13-yard rush. And then finally, Fanthorpe, this time he finds a junior, Kyle Fedorowicz, for a 3-yard touchdown. Just 3 minutes into the game, 7-0 Cardinals. Coach, the Cardinals, they score on the first possession every single game heading up to the Wheaton game. And it didn't happen in the Wheaton game, didn't happen in the Illinois Wesleyan game. Augustana game didn't happen either, but got back on track against Elmhurst and it happened.
That offense is pretty good. It's really been fun to watch them this year, and they've done their part to entertain the fans, which we like to do. And so that was a great way to get started, and then it's turned into kind of a shootout there for a while, that first half.
Coach, just like you said, it was a shootout. And Coach Lester's teams, they responded. I believe they got a field goal, but they tried to get the ball in the end zone as quick as possible as well. Looked like they're kind of mirroring the North Central College program.
Yeah, everything was moving fast on the offensive side. Eventually, both defenses adjusted a little bit, but thank goodness our offense stayed ahead of their defense the whole day.
Well, following the Elmhurst field goal, North Central College to get a big return from Joe Antonacci, 81 yards to the Blue Jays' 16-yard line. Rosberg, the very next play, takes it up the middle for a 16-yard touchdown. It's 14-3 Cardinals. Coach, we've been talking about it all year, field position and how important it is. When Joe Antonacci takes the ball from near the goal line all the way to the other goal line, it's got to be nice for you.
We wanted to run a kickoff back for a touchdown this year, and I thought he was going to make it, and he almost did. The other guys did a terrific job of blocking for him, and he read things, and he broke, I think, 2 tackles on the trip, too. So that was a really, really wonderful return. Joe had a great day, and he got rewarded by being Special Teams Player of the Week for the whole conference.
Absolutely. Coach, this kickoff team all year been blocking really, really well for its runners. Elmhurst, they responded with a touchdown of their own after Rodney Payton hung on to a 25-yard reception. He got popped by Josh McLeod, but they would eventually score 2 plays later. But then North Central College, they answered back with 21 unanswered points. Fanthorpe, a 2-yard touchdown where he went head over heels. Hank Johnston, a pass to Andy Sturzma. That was fun to watch, 78-yard touchdown. And then Johnson had a 20-yard reception. The score was 35-10 with 1 minute remaining till halftime.
There was some excitement going on there, wasn't there?
There was.
That was really fun. We don't run a lot of trick plays, so it was really exciting to see Hank have a chance to throw it. And it ends up, after the run, to be like the 3rd longest scoring passing play in the history of the college. So he moved ahead of our great quarterback Cam Kniss. So it was really a wonderful day. So many great plays happened, offense, defense, special teams. It was a good way to finish the season.
Coach Sturzman had 2 catches in this game, I believe. He had a nice game, and he's still just a young player.
He's a freshman, and we think he's got a great future, and it was good to have him get some experience this year.
Well, Coach, this week's Cardinal Crusher, we've been talking about field position all year. Let's take a look real quick. Joe Antonacci, you were talking about it. Let's just take a look at this return, Coach. We talked about the players setting up the blocks.
Yeah, it got a little jammed right there, so we had to break one tackle, hit to the outside, broke another tackle. That's a great block, knocking that guy over, wasn't it? And it looked like he was going to go out of bounds. He stayed in bounds, and I thought he had a chance to cut back and get back where he had more field, and just ran out of gas a little bit, and some people caught him.
Now, Joe was a defender last year. This year, he went to the offensive side of the ball. It's like you said, he got rewarded for being the special teams player of the week. What can you expect to see from Joe next year?
Great things. He averaged 23 yards per catch as a receiver. That's pretty good. And he really started to understand kickoff return and punt return. And he knew when to gamble, when not to gamble, and he breaks tackles. And he's, of course, got great speed. So we can't wait to get started in the drive for 5. Got to get it going for next year.
Joe, he showed great concentration with that touchdown catch against Carthage, I believe it was, earlier in the season. CCIW Defensive Player of the Week, Stuart Charles, sophomore cornerback for you. He had a career-high 11 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 1 quarterback sack, and 3 pass breakups.
You know, Stu didn't play until his senior year in high school. So he's still learning the game of football. His potential, the amount of improvement that's going to happen in the next 2 years with Stu Charles will be amazing. He's going to be a really great player.
Coach,
and he already is doing wonderful things.
Coach, we talk about how important it is to recruit. How often do you find players like Stuart Charles that really don't have a whole lot to show you from their high school, football careers, but when you get them into the program, you see that there's raw talent to build on?
You know, that's a tricky thing. I mean, Dan Hampton, the great defensive lineman for the Bears, was in the band for the first 3 years. He only played his senior year in high school and kept developing. Now, we're not advocating to go and find every guy that's only played 1 year of high school football, but sometimes that's a good thing. Football's a hard game to play for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. It's demanding on the body and everything, and so we think Stu's going to have a lot of freshness left in that body for the next 2 years in college.
Well, that'll be fun to watch out for. Stay tuned, Redbird fans, as Cardinal offensive coordinator Jeff Thorne joins us to talk all things Cardinal football. We'll be right back. Naperville Sports Weekly will bring you scores, highlights, and statistics from all of your favorite Naperville area high school sports, as well as commentary by local sports experts. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the winning team through a Naperville Sports Weekly sponsorship. For sponsorship info, contact Nancy Wearsome at 630-355-2124. The Cardinals took on Coach Tim Lester in Elmhurst this past Saturday, handing the Blue Jays a 49-24 loss. We got reactions from the game in this week's What's the Word?
People would step up in spots they need to step up in, and they obviously did. People may have had their doubts after we lost a couple key guys, but just the team bonding behind us that's allowed us to come together and get this done.
They've had 3, 4, 5 years of really good recruiting, and it takes 4 or 5 years to do that. So when a guy gets down, gets hurt, they fill in with somebody else, and that's a sign of coaches working hard year after year on the recruiting. Eventually, once you build a program like Coach Thorne has, when guys get hurt, there's other capable guys ready to come in and play, and that's where they're at.
We got to give it up to our coaching staff. They stayed late on Sundays, put up a nice scouting report for us, and and they definitely prepare us well. Like that's running, like everybody just working hard.
They're awesome at recruiting. They recruited some really good players in here, and good things happen because leadership trickles down. So when you see good leaders in front of you, it's going to turn you into a good leader. And we had a lot of guys that stepped up and are good leaders. Even the guys that got injured, they're awesome leaders, and that's what's allowed us to do as well as we have.
That's what we want to do. We want to play for the guys who can't play anymore, and that's what we did. I mean, we played with a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of pride for our players.
Don, Matt, and Derek would have given anything to be on the field with us, and I would have given anything to finish my career playing with those guys as we came in playing with them. Those are our closest friends, so I had to leave everything I could out on the field for those guys, not necessarily for myself.
We welcome back onto the show offensive coordinator Jeff Thorne, whose offense finishes up the regular season as the country's #1 scoring offense. Coach, when you first started here 8 years ago, was that kind of the goal to one day have the #1 scoring offense in the country?
I think any offensive guy would probably tell you that. Yeah, so it was really a neat year for us offensively.
And talk about it this year. Was it just the fact that you had the senior as a quarterback in Aaron Fanthorpe, all that kind of coming together to produce so many points?
Yeah, he's the engine that makes us go, but I think this year, as opposed to a couple of the last few, our offensive line was just so far superior, and you can see that in our rushing offense. I think that the best we'd ever done for an entire season was average about 180 yards per game on the ground, and this year we're at 250. That makes all the difference in the world, and what it does is it translates into an extremely efficient passing game. We didn't have to throw the ball a lot, but when we did, we were efficient, and I think we finished second in the nation in passing efficiency as a team, and then Aaron as an individual was also second. Yeah. So, you know, that running game is really what allows everything else to flourish, and Aaron's season was tremendous. It's the best year he's ever had, but a lot of that is directly attributable to what those guys up front were able to do, and we were fortunate. They all stayed healthy. All 5 of our offensive linemen stayed healthy for the entire season.
Yeah. JD, Josh Delancey, he got a little bit banged up in the Illinois Wesleyan game.
Yeah.
The Cardinals end up losing that game 28-22 in overtime. Do you attribute, I don't want to say the loss to JD getting hurt and to Aaron getting hurt in that game, but just kind of take us back through that Illinois Wesleyan game?
It was a tough day. There was a lot of factors involved that day that really, I think, slowed us down a little bit, but certainly first and foremost, Aaron getting hurt on the 6th play of the game and really playing the first half on one leg, and then not being able to go in the second half. And Josh, the same thing. He got hurt in the first quarter, tried to gut it out in the second quarter, and at halftime determined he wasn't going to be able to go in the second half. But we lost to a really, really good football team. Yeah. That defense is fabulous, yeah. And we had our work cut out for us even had we stayed healthy. Wesleyan beat us that day.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game, exciting all the way down to the very end. The Cardinals, 6th in the country in total offense, 2,497 rushing yards, 2,382 passing yards. Coach, does that surprise you that you are able to gain so many yards on the ground in a spread offense in the CCIW?
I don't want to say that I'm surprised. I think we were talking earlier today how the conference has kind of changed offensively, and it's become much more of a passing conference, and we've kind of gone the other way. We were much more of a passing offense 3 years ago than we are right now. We really were. Our balance was pretty important to us. We were about 63% run and 37% pass, and that allows us to maintain drives and stay in situations where it's maybe 3rd and 5 or less instead of 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 10, and it makes those 3rd down conversions a lot more achievable than when you're trying to throw the ball all the time. An incompletion and you go nowhere. Right. A running play that doesn't go very far, maybe you gain 2, you do that twice and it's 3rd and 6. So I'm real comfortable with where we're at offensively in terms of our balance.
And it's like you're saying, running the ball, the clock still keeps on ticking and the defense stays off the field, so another plus for you as well. Well, Coach, let's talk about this year. 3rd consecutive CCIW Offensive Player of the Year for your quarterback, Aaron Fanthorpe. That is impressive in itself. 6 offensive players named to the CCIW first team. You got to put a smile on your face.
Yeah, and it's actually 5 years in a row for the Player of the Year because Cam Kniss had it for 2 years, and I don't want to slight him. He was amazing. But what Aaron's been able to do has been remarkable. We had huge shoes to fill at the quarterback position when Cam graduated, and Aaron did just an unbelievable job. And such a competitor, such a leader. It's going to be extremely difficult to replace him. But we've got some young kids that we're excited about, and they've got their work cut out for them.
Coach, Aaron wrapped up the season in a big way. Well, we've wrapped up the season with our plays of the year. Coach Jeff, we'll let you take this first one here. This is play number 10, Dominic Sulo, 27-yard touchdown against Benedictine.
Yeah, Dom shows how hard of a runner he is there breaking tackles, and we certainly missed him.
Coach, play number 9. This is against Elmhurst College. And Josh McLeod was just hitting guys big time in this game.
He really became the enforcer back there, and you need that at the safety spot.
Illinois Wesleyan game, this is the backup QB, Spencer Stanek, hits Steve Lavick. Coach, this sets up the game-tying touchdown.
Yeah, that rookie did some great things that day.
Play number 7, Aaron Fanthorpe against Elmhurst. This kind of says it all right here.
That's Aaron's career in a nutshell right there. That's his toughness.
Play number 6, Nick Smith, Robert Champion. Get him right in the backfield.
Oh, big champ, yeah. He got a lot of tackles for loss this year.
Same game, Pat Malik. He's going to go 65 yards, another senior running back.
Yeah, he and Butch just did an incredible job in Dom's absence, and you can see Pat's speed there, his ability to take it the distance.
Coach, right before halftime, 2 Naperville North guys, Aaron Fanthorpe, Steve Lavick, hook up for a 46-yard bomb.
Yeah, Steve's our big play guy. He just shows up all the time in the big games.
I know
Amazing
that,
player.
I know that play put a smile on your face. Willie Hayes here, Coach. He picks up the loose ball and goes for a touchdown.
Yeah.
The defense just loves it.
I don't know how that ball squirted out of there, but he was sure right on it. And look how happy those guys are. That was a great day for the defense.
It was Joe Schneiderbauer. Play number 2, Hank Johnston to Andy Sturzman. Coach, not many trick plays, but this one worked.
Yeah, it was. Hank's a very, very talented athlete, and to be able to finish his career with the kind of game he had, not just with that pass, but he was just dynamite Saturday. It was great to see.
That's right. He also had a 20-yard touchdown reception. Well, the number 1 play, Butch Rosberg, the longest play from scrimmage for North Central College in its history, 96 yards for a touchdown. The team went on to score 55
How about that stiff
points.
arm there? Yeah, as I said, Pat and Butch were amazing.
Coach, like we said, they scored 55 points against Benedictine. You went on to score 55 or more in the next 4 games. Offense was really on a roll at that point.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was not ready for it to end, and we had to play Wheaton, and Wheaton did a nice job of slowing us down. But we missed some opportunities in that game, and certainly the Wesleyan game, we didn't score the number of points that we needed to score to win. So that was frustrating, but then we got it going a little bit the last 2 weeks.
Well, Coach, we talked about the offensive line, how important they've been all year. Zach Baldacci, Josh Delancey, both seniors. I believe Jeremy Schaub also a senior.
No, Jeremy's going to be back.
Okay.
But we are going to lose the 2 tackles. And the good news is we just found out that Josh is on the AFCA All-American team, and so that's really great.
Does it surprise you much that they picked Josh over all the offensive linemen?
No, because he's really played as a starter for us the longest. He's had the most experience, and he's a force. He gets a hold of people, and he moves them, and we're able to run the ball behind him. So we're very happy for him.
Well, certainly. Stay tuned for more with Coach Jeff and John Thorne. We'll be right back.
Loaves and Fishes is Naperville's community pantry, providing food and personal care items to residents in need.
Loaves and Fishes is a total community effort. The community comes together, young and old alike, contributing what they can from their resources. It is a very blessed community and a very generous community. We believe that our mission is a mission of love and of caring. Any one of us at any time may need a helping hand. We believe that after air and water, food is the most basic of all human necessities, and that no one in our community should go hungry, and we're here to make sure that no one does go hungry.
Just don't hesitate to come, because they really are here to help you, and they have helped me tremendously, and I'm so grateful, and I really appreciate everything that they do.
To make a difference, visit www.loaves-fishes.org.
Welcome back to the Red Zone. Week in and week out, Cardinal players give you insight into the team. So we've put together a best of from our correspondents in the Cardinal Corner.
Well, I'm Nick Hicks. I'm a junior wide receiver from Florida, and I'm going to ask our other wide receivers today, what their favorite camp experience was.
Probably be discovering Shakira's She-Wolf video. Got me through those long, lonely nights at camp. Yeah.
That's a great video.
Yes.
Very, very seductive. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I'd have to say my favorite experience was watching another fellow teammate of mine exotic dance down the defensive floor of Seeger one night. It was pretty funny.
Show me what went down on the defensive hallway, Tate. Show me.
He was actually starting to like take his shirt off a little bit.
That's enough. That's enough.
This is a sophomore linebacker, Chase Plavik. How you doing today, Chase?
It's Pavlik, but I'm great. How are you, Rob?
I'm actually doing pretty good. Sorry about butchering your name.
Hey, I'm here with sophomore linebacker Matt Muggs, and I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. Muggs, you got to start. Last week, how'd that feel?
Good.
Good. I'm glad. We're entering conference this week. You excited to play our first conference game?
Yep.
And who is your favorite athlete of all time from Chicago?
Michael Jordan.
Why's that?
Because he's good.
All right, thanks, Matt.
How do you feel performance-wise? Who was better, right or left in the game Saturday?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to lean more towards the left on that one because, we had the pass protections going left. I felt a lot safer going over that way, and we had a lot more down blocks coming down.
Okay, good. Yeah, the left side all the way. Sorry, right side. Maybe you get some pub next week.
All right, here with senior running back Butch Rosberg, and he lines up for his kick. That is a beautiful kick, Butch. How'd you feel about that kick? It looked pretty solid.
I came out today, so I'm working with the tee. I don't know, it looked pretty interesting. Never kicked it soccer style before. I usually towed it, like in 1963. But I thought I'd try it, and I was 2 for 3 today. Caught me on my good one. It probably would have been good from 63.
What do you think about Tom Lester? He's over at Elmhurst now. What do you think?
Well, I'm pretty sure his name's Tim Lester, first of all.
Well, I'm here with Carl Garrick. He's a sophomore wide receiver. So, Carl, what do you know about Tony Lester?
Tony Lester. Thought his name was Tim Lester.
All right, I'm here with Tim Janisek, senior D lineman. Tim, I understand that you got the privilege to be coached under Terry Lester. Tell me about Terry Lester. Is he a good guy?
Well, at first, I believe it's Tim Lester.
I understand you shaved your mustache lately. Could you tell us why?
I have to go get observation hours for my education class, and I can't walk into a middle school with a handlebar mustache.
You do know it makes you look about 4 years younger, right?
I'm fine with that.
What I'd like to know is, what do you think of Timmy shaving his mustache there?
You want to know what? Timmy comes across as a big, bad guy, like real tough. But, when he shaves that mustache, he really looks young, like a baby. And deep down inside, he's a little teddy bear.
Jeff is also one of the most tattooed persons I think I've ever met in my entire life. Jeff, could you tell the people a little bit about that?
I think it's like a form of art. And I only get something that I think really truly means something to me.
Chris, as a freshman, what is your favorite part about playing college football?
Well, pretty much I get to come out every day and see Willie Hayes with his amazing tattoo that makes him look gigantic and adds 20 pounds to his bench press.
Morgan, as a place kicker, you broke the record for most extra points made in one game?
Yeah,
or is it
consecutive in one game.
Consecutive in one game.
Yep.
Now, not having a tattoo like Willie Hayes, how does that pose as a factor going into the game? Does that offer any disadvantages, or Morgan's at a loss of words here. I'm here with junior linebacker Joe Schneiderbauer, and Joe, being a linebacker now, what's it like going against Willie Hayes every day in practice? Okay, his tattoo is pretty big. Some say it's almost as big as Jeff Grunwald's. Do you think that plays into any factor during the game? Well, there you have it, folks.
Coach, those players have a lot of fun doing that Cardinal Corner, don't they?
They have a lot of fun every day.
Well, Coach, I just want to get into this real quick. D3Football.com, North Central College, they finished 17th in the final standings. Washington and Jefferson, they finished 20th in the final standings. They had one loss. Coach, Washington and Jefferson was that last at-large team that kind of took North Central's spot into the playoffs. But yet they only have one loss, but their strength of schedule was 210 out of like 220 teams. North Central College's strength of schedule was number 30, and that's on D3Football.com. So once again, it looks like NC2A is rewarding a team with only one loss as opposed to rewarding a team with a stronger strength of schedule.
Well, the bad message is they're encouraging people not to play a strong non-conference schedule, and I don't think the fans or anybody really want that. Wouldn't it be great to see great games in the non-conference schedule played by the best teams in the country instead of having them be, afraid to play each other, because it could keep you out of the playoffs if you just have one slip up in your conference schedule.
Coach Jeff, 32 teams make this playoffs. North Central College they've basically been around the 15th ranked team all season long. Does it seem right to keep one of the top 25 teams in the country out of a 32 team field?
No, I don't think it does. But Washington and Jefferson didn't take our spot. They took Ohio Northern's spot because they've got a better case than we do. They beat us. But it is frustrating to be ranked that high for the course of an entire season and not have that opportunity to find out just how good you are in the playoffs with what's supposed to be the best teams in the country.
Do you feel that the Cardinals, given the fact that they lost to an OAC team and a team in the CCIW, had the nation's #1 scoring offense, #6 total offense, do you think all those things were taken into consideration at this point?
No, because I think the way the process works is each region is given an opportunity to make their case for their team for the at-large selection, and I don't think our name ever even came up.
Well, Coach, it's like you said, the Cardinals, they finish off on a high note. And some of the first teamers on defense, Josh McLeod, Joe Schneiderbauer, and Robert Champion. On offense, Aaron Fanthorpe, Philip Rosberg, Kyle Fedorowicz, Steve Lavick, Josh Delancey, and Kyle Antos, all first teamers for the Cardinals. On second team was Tim Janasek for the defense, Hank Johnson, and Zach Baldacci for the offense.
12 guys. That's good. A very good group, and we're very, very proud of them, very happy for them. And it's not easy to be an all-conference player in the CCIW.
And Coach Jeff, one name I left off that list was Coach John Thorne, who's up for the Coach of the Year award as well. Do you think in all the years that he's been a coach, this might be the most deserving?
Yeah, for what we've endured this year, injury-wise, it's been pretty remarkable for our players to rally the way that they did. And, I know what he's gone through on a personal level, too, with my grandfather, and some of the issues that he's had to deal with there, and other coaches being sick throughout the course of the year in addition to the injuries. So, yeah, I think it was really a great accomplishment for us to get to where we were, to finish 8-2, to get a share of the conference championship again for the 4th year in a row. We're pretty happy. And as he mentioned earlier in the show, I think it's great to be able to finish on a high note with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in a trying year with many injuries, Coach John Thorne is up for the Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year Award. To vote for your coach, visit North Central College Athletic website. NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. Along with Coach Jeff and John Thorne, I'm Jeff Mahoney. See you next time on your community television leader, Channel 17. Go Cardinals.